Hey guys, welcome back to the lineup show. I'm going to go over tonight's Sunday night football game between the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers. And yeah, this should be a good game between these teams. They're both pretty good. So I will say there's more 49ers I think that I like. But there's also some injuries and stuff. So some things to dance around, I guess. Christian McCaffrey, obviously averaging 25.7 fantasy points a game is really good, if you didn't know. But he's playing the Bears, who are 9th against the running back, but they're 27th in rush yards allowed per game. So somehow they're not terrible against the running back, but they give up a lot of rushing yards. So, yeah, with that said, I still think Christian McCaffrey's going to have one heck of a game. Probably pretty solid game anyway. Brock Purdy, I think, is going to have a great game. Bears are 23rd against the quarterback. They are 18th in pass yards allowed per game on average. And I think Caleb Williams is going to have a nice game. 49ers are 19th against the quarterback, 24th in pass yards allowed per game. George Kittle is expected to be out. He is questionable, but if you read the news, he is highly unlikely to play. So I'm just going to go ahead and, for all intents and purposes for this video, I'm going to act as if he's not playing tonight. But he may, so you might want to check back somewhere and see if he is. Odunze is out, which stinks because he's a solid player. I like him a lot. Jawan Jennings in a good spot. The 49ers receivers are in a good spot. The Bears are 24th against the wide receiver. But I don't think Jennings is the way to go here. For at least I don't want to. Well, he's had back-to-back 18-point games. Last 4 games he was in double digits. It is kind of tempting. I like Jennings. I don't think I want to pay for Jennings. DJ Moore, also questionable with an illness. So if he doesn't play, well, him and Zacchaeus are both questionable for an illness. So if they don't play, then the Chicago receivers are going to be very limited. They're going to be very cheap. You have Luther Burden III, which I think is playable either way, whether those guys play or not. And I plan on playing him. But then you also have, down here a little bit cheaper, you've got Jade Walker, and then you've got Devin Duvernay, and then you also have J.P. Richardson. Those are the guys that we're looking at. And Richardson is dirt cheap, 300 as captain, so he's 200 regular. Yeah. So with that said, I just wanted to fill you in on those receivers. We have DeAndre Swift and Manungai. They have. I don't even want to say it's an okay matchup. I don't like the matchup, but I'd imagine they could get some points. I've had times where I didn't play DeAndre Swift because of the matchup, and he ended up going off, and I hate that. But overall, I don't expect him to have that great a game. He's averaging 15.1 fantasy points on average. San Francisco's 17th against the running back position and 8th in rush yards allowed per game. So I don't expect him or Manungai really to have a huge game. Ricky Pearsall, also questionable, but he's likely to play. The Bears are 24th against the wide receiver position. I think he would be an excellent play if he does play. I don't really like either kicker in this game, personally. Don't think I like Kendrick Bourne here. Even if he gets the targets, it seems like he's not getting the points. Loveland, I could definitely see the argument to play Loveland if those receivers don't play. I mean, I could see the argument to play him anyways. The 49ers are 22nd against the tight end. However, he hasn't really averaged a whole lot. He's only averaging 8.7 fantasy points a game. I don't love that. I do like Zacchaeus if he plays. He's questionable, but if he plays, I like him. Demarcus Robinson only really getting 2 targets a game, and that's kind of high for him. He was only getting about 1. But George Kittle expected to be out. You also have Tungus. I'm going to say Tungus, but you have him really cheap. We'll call him JT. How about that? JT, looking pretty good here if Kittle does not play. Drew a blank there for a second. Yeah, so the Bears are 17th against the tight end. I would expect him to have a pretty big game if Kittle's out. I mean, I don't want to say a huge game, but, a decent-sized role. There's always Komet if you need a cheap option who gets, 3 or 4 targets a game, it seems like, but he doesn't do a whole lot with that. Not many fantasy points for him, but yeah, those are the guys you can keep in mind as far as the cheap options go. As far as captain goes, I think I am going to play somebody cheaper just because of everyone I have to fit in. I think I might try Burden the third as long as those other receivers are not playing. If they are, I'll probably change it up some. But I do want McCaffrey in there. I do want Brock Purdy. I do want Williams in there. And that's not going to allow me to play Jennings. And that really won't even let me play, not Monunga, but Pearsall. And I do want to play Pearsall kind of. So I could go cheaper, play one of those cheaper guys and put Pearsall in. And I may do that. But if I'm happy enough with this lineup without him, I might just leave him out. We'll see here. I kind of like Loveland. He just has not produced a lot of fantasy points. So I guess I'm going to put Tunges in there, or Tungus, JT, good old JT. I feel like I've heard his name different ways, but we'll call him JT, like I said. And then that leaves about 4,400 for our last player. And I don't really care for either defense in this game. I really don't. I don't care for either kicker. I think I've already said that. So I guess at this point, I would probably either go with Walker, Duvernay, or Richardson. And it would probably be Walker. But I really don't necessarily want to play Walker. I'd rather play one of these other guys, I think. But that would mean I'd have to go cheaper on my captain. And actually, why don't we go JT as captain? We'll go Tungus as captain. And then that would free up a lot of salary here. Let's see who we still have. Let's see. That would allow me to put in Ricky Pearsall. But I did want Burden in there. That wouldn't allow me to play Burden and Pearsall. But honestly, I think I'd rather Pearsall as long as he plays if the other 2 receivers are in for the Bears. See, I told you guys this gets a little tricky. But yeah, I'll say Loveland maybe for this. I think I'd rather Loveland over Walker, personally. But I'd rather probably, I don't know if I'd rather Zacchaeus or not. He hasn't averaged a whole lot lately either, but there towards the beginning or the mid-season, he had a few good games. So, but if DJ Moore's out, then I'd rather Zacchaeus anyways. But we'll put Loveland in there for now. And this will give us a complete lineup. And, yeah, it really kind of depends on the Bears and who's going to play, guys. And if Ricky Pearsall plays, because I really do like Ricky Pearsall. So I might swap this out and put him in there. But yeah, that gives you some ideas at least for your lineup and lets you know who's in and who's out. Well, it doesn't let you know who's in and who's out, but it lets you know who's questionable. So, hey, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks.